Hi, I'm Sarah Cowgill, along with Andrew Moran, Jim Fite, Scott Cosenza, and Mark Angelides, and this is the Conservative Five, Liberty Nation's online TV news program. Well, it was a term of historic decisions by the U.S. Supreme Court. After nearly 50 years, Roe versus Wade has been overturned. A landmark gun ruling was put into place, and former President Trump took that victory lap for changing the face of the court. The court even ruled in favor of a coach who was fired for praying after a game. Are there more surprises coming our way? Well, Mr. Scott Cosenza, Esquire, Liberty Nation's legal eagle, is on board to steer us through the SCotus decisions. It is, Counselor.
Well, I don't think there's any surprises left. The term, as of our recording, is now over with respect to new decisions. Finally, for those of us who've covered it, it has been fast and furious. I think that the case that you mentioned about Coach Kennedy and the Bremerton High School is going to be a bit of a surprise in that it's not the ruling people think it is. The justices disagreed about the facts of that case, and that if a coach were to act similarly, I think he will be dismissed and that dismissal will be upheld. But those are all kind of minor points compared to the new era we are now in, which is the post-Roe era. That is the big headline. And of course, for those of us who are interested in guns, the post right to New York State Rifle and Pistol case v. Bruin. Those are the two new eras that we're in, and those are sea changes in the court's rulings.
Yeah, I think specifically the Roe v. Wade one is going to become a really defining issue for the midterms coming up in November, because what we're seeing is a real mix of messaging. So you have the Democrats on one side, and they're saying, this is why you need to vote for us. But then on the other side, the Republicans, they're not really making the case here. And Scott, you can answer this better than me. But for me, it seems that the Roe v. Wade decision, whether one agrees with the pro-life or pro-choice side, is kind of irrelevant. It's more about this is creating a democratic decision that's more local. So people who want to live in a place where they can have these abortion laws or no abortion laws, they actually have more of a chance of impacting how the law is held in their state. Isn't that really the message that Republicans should be putting out, is that this actually promotes democracy? Or am I wrong on that?
Yeah, a federalism sell to the people of America by the Republicans. I'm not the political analyst to know whether or not that's likely to succeed. I think that maybe it won't. I think that maybe these are kind of purplish, voters, not right or left or red or blue, that they're going to want to sell to. So we know that the messaging is coming from the other side. They think it will impact it, or they're trying to make it. Mark and I were online discussing the ruling as it came down, and like a moment after it did, AOC tweeted out that she wanted to do away with the entire Supreme Court, that eliminating the filibuster wasn't even enough. It didn't go far enough. So I expect from the very left side of the aisle to see it nonstop. But if you're a working mom in the Pennsylvania suburbs of Philadelphia, or whose vote is coveted to go one way or another to determine the results of these elections, if you can't put gas in your car because it's too much money, I don't know that the Roe decision is going to make a difference if you still have access where you live, like you did before, which is the case for most Americans. But the vast majority of Americans live in states where abortion is legal and will remain legal.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Andrew. Go ahead, Andrew. I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, I was just going to say, because what Scott mentioned, I was, before that Roe v. Wade decision came down, I was watching this more than 10-year-old video starring Tom Woods and economist Bob Murphy, and it was called Interview with a Zombie. And the libertarian commentator, Tom Woods, he was making the case for nullification, and, you can nullify federal laws. And, the interviewer, Bob Murphy, he was poking fun, but saying, oh, if you support that, you're a neo-Confederate and you're a racist. But now, more than a decade later, you have the left saying we have to, the United States has to abolish the Supreme Court, has to abandon federal law. But doesn't that go against what they've been saying for years, how you're racist and you're pro-slavery,
like secession,
and
Andrew.
Confederate? Yeah, exactly. And federalism too.
Depending on who's in the White House,
everyone is a federalist nowadays on the left, which is remarkable from a few years ago.
Yeah, you got half the country trying to secede from the Union, depending on who's in the White House.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Well, okay. despite the leak that set us all up for this, I honestly did not believe we would ever overturn Roe v. Wade. So how did that come about? I never saw that coming. I hate to admit that, but I did not see that coming.
Well, since the day that the opinion was announced 49 years ago, almost 50 years ago, the march has been to get it overturned by, a huge percentage of people in the country, and through all of our systems, through our political system, elected offices with pro-life campaigns, and through the courts, and to elevate judges, or to elevate lawyers to judges who had this type of view about Roe v. Wade, or even not even that specific issue, Sarah, but more generally, their legal mindset would lead them down this path. There's this notion I see. In fact, getting back to AOC, she was on either Meet the Press or this week, one of the Sunday shows, talking about how Justices Gorsuch and Kavanaugh, I think, should be basically undergo contempt proceeding, or not contempt, but impeachment proceedings because of their answers on the questions of Roe v. Wade. And it's like, I don't think that Kavanaugh or Gorsuch or any of them ever said to a political appointment person in like Trump or his seconds that they would vote this way, but it's the mindset that leads them to vote this way. So that continual push to elevate people to be lawyers, to then judges, to then senior judges and elite judges, to get to this point where we have a majority of those justices on the Supreme Court that support that ruling.
And that brings up a question. The question I have is then, well, first of all, I didn't hear who you said was making the rounds, saying that they need to be brought up on charges or contempt.
AOC.
Okay.
Yeah, Alexandria Ocasio.
All right. Well, I don't know.
Cortez,
I'm not going to put too much salt into those.
She looked
words,
beautiful when she was saying those things. By the way,
weren't,
I'll say that.
But she also wanted to build abortion clinics on federal land as a national emergency? I mean, she's got a lot of ideas.
Yeah, Elizabeth Warren.
Yeah, they're not good ones, but they are ideas.
No, but they're ideas. It's like the old saying, her heart's in the right place, just left a center in her chest.
There are plenty of unattractive people who say these things too. I mean, if anybody has to say them, we should welcome her, I think.
But not with that size Twitter account.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the Twitter account, legislating from the Twitter account.
If I may make one point, out of all of this, he's not even president anymore, but he is getting victory after victory. That's Donald Trump. I mean, he's not in the White House. He keeps winning. That guy is amazing of just achieving this winning record of not even
all prep work. It was good prep work, I guess, is what most people will be saying, because he's certainly not there, and I don't know if that'll bring him back or not. But thanks, panel. The landmark decisions of just this past term show that former President Trump's greatest accomplishment was building a truly constitutionalist court. So whatever happens next, we'll be the first to let you know. And of course, we'll have panel back here to weigh in on all the details. Thanks, guys. That's it for our Conservative 5 panel today. Check out our other C5 shows and segments on your favorite video platform, YouTube, Vimeo, Rumble, or on them all. As well, Liberty Nation has its own Roku channel where you can see all of our TV productions. Thanks for tuning in, and remember to surf on over to libertynation.com. Join us on the Member Zone, just $17.76 for the year. Special thanks to our fantastic editor and post coordinator, Frank Diorio. I'm Sarah Cowgill. Thanks for joining us today. This has been a production of libertynation.com, where truth is making a comeback.